Welcome back to another episode. This is a new CrossFit season. We are in the open, and this is 23.1. 14-minute AMRAP, 60 cal row, 50 total bar, 40 wall ball shots, 30 cleans, and 20 ring muscle ups. If you finish that, you get to do it again in the remaining time. So here we go. Start of the workout, 60 cals. With the WeTime app, we are fortunate enough to look at my real-time paces on the rower. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I just was focusing on the calories. Yes, I did see the cals per hour, but I was not really paying attention to a set pace. I was going strictly based off of feel and making sure that I was breathing, really trying to utilize the legs and not overwork myself and get too hyped up. Off camera, thank you Prodigy crew for portioning off this section of the gym for me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'm glad to get to work out with you. Heil, thank you for judging. If you're watching this, I do appreciate you, and you crushed the workout as well. So, really trying to have a lot of leg drive. Good thing, if you saw my previous videos with the rower, focusing on a much better technique here. Trying to do a little bit more of a hinge, really reaching into the rower and pulling big pulls from the chain. Really trying to utilize those legs, minimize the arms as much as possible, and just use that as an accessory. So for the majority of this, I was really happy to pull at above a 1500 cal. Looking at this now, I knew I was about at a minute, and we were 25, 26 cals in, so we were at a pretty hot pace. And at that point, once I hit that first minute, you will see the cals per hour start to throttle back a little bit, as I knew I came out a little hotter than I expected. But I knew that the body would eventually deteriorate. I haven't been doing, I think, enough high intensity rowing, but I knew roughly where I was at from, again, these reviews and looking at workouts and knowing in my head where I would start falling apart. I feel pretty comfortable on toes to bar. I breathe real well. So I knew that I was gonna open up big, do small sets there, unless for something happening in the last 10, 15 cals on this rower, we're just mentally thinking, is the game plan gonna change, or are we staying with what we wanted? So looking at the last 10 cals here, my cals per hour have dipped to below 1400, and this is intentional. This is where actually I'm trying to just kind of feather out the last 10, let the heart rate come back, not trying to, again, overexert myself, and use this as kind of like an active rest in the first couple of minutes here. So looking at the clock, we are finishing in 2:23. That's a pretty quick row. That's probably the fastest I've ever rowed 60 cals that wasn't an interval, but actually in a workout. One tip for saving some time, use less chalk. We went right from the rower and busted out, I believe, a set of 20 toes to bar here. Now, I had chalk on my grips prior, Victory grips, and I had the Element 26 wristbands to add that little extra cushion on the wrist. So we were feeling pretty locked in here. Really trying to focus on opening up and breathing, with the head coming through and exhaling and pushing away, something I've been trying to work on technically. Reducing and minimizing that excess leg swing from side to side and keeping everything real tight. So I think that was a set of 17 or 20. I think it was 20 reps to start. And then I was like, okay, got all the good jitters out, got all the good energy off the total bar, and we started breaking things up into much smaller sets. I believe this was like a set of 10, maybe 12 reps. It was a very weird number. I think we were at like 29 or 30 at this point. And then we start going into like sets of like 8, 7s, and then 5s at the end. So looking at this, pretty happy again with how the body stayed together. Mentally trying to just chalk really quick and not use a whole lot of time. So that was like a set of 5 or 6 there. No chalk, one step away, breathe, stepping back into it, and we're getting right back into the total bar. So another small set here. I think this was like 5 repetitions, maybe 6. Yeah, so set of 5 there. We're coming to the tail end of the toes to bar. Again, just trying to make sure we're breathing, saving the grip, because mentally I'm thinking, don't go too big and don't explode. It was very strategic because I knew I needed every ounce of energy for the rings. So another set of 5 there, I believe. Talking to Nick, he's just walking, waiting for a bar. That's one of the things with this workout, is there's a lot of rig space here that is missing, and trying to get a good bar position. So looking at the end, that was the 50 toes to bar. Now we're moving on to the 40 wall balls with a 20-pound ball. Getting the grips out of the way. For this, I was really feeling it in the shoulders. One thing too is the logistics of this workout with everyone working out around you, something that, again, working out in a class setting with people, I'm accustomed to. So that was no issue there. Hitting that 10-foot target, really trying to focus on my breathing, making sure that I'm not, again, overexerting. So I think I did 3 sets here. I think it was the first set was 13, the second set was 14, and the third set was also, what was that, 13? And that gets us to 40 repetitions. So feeling pretty good here. Mainly the shoulders started to really fatigue. The legs were fine. A lot of solid leg drive coming out the hole. Those were not the issue. I knew that would not be the issue in this workout. But again, it's just load management on the shoulders. Quick break there. I'm happy with like the 5 to 7 seconds that I took before starting my next round of wall balls. And I was checking too with my judge, Heil, to make sure, again, depth is there and we're hitting, because I do have quite a wide stance and I wanted to make sure my hip crease was there. That's one why I did not wear black shorts and I wanted to wear my AMRAP shorts, because it's very easy to see where those lines and the hip crease comes in. I didn't want any discrepancy, any judging reviews of where, I could be quote unquote cheating, as I know some athletes will do that and use darker shorts to evade the telltale sign of if you hit depth or not, because I do ride that line and I'm very aware of that, and I've tried to correct that and talked about that in previous videos. So here we are with the cleans. This is the grinder. So the last 30 cleans here, the 20 rings is the meat of the workout. Very happy that we are only 6.5 minutes in, not even in the halfway point of the workout yet. And I didn't even want to look at the clock. I just wanted to grip and rip, move real well. As you will notice, yes, my cadence is not super fast on the cleans. I take a second to stay up and breathe. Again, if I were to hunch over immediately and grab the bar and try to rip it from the ground, I am compressing my lungs and I cannot simply get enough oxygen in. So I was very deliberate in breathing, taking a second to myself and really letting my body kind of come down from the previous 140 repetitions or 150 repetitions prior. But this was a grinder. 30 cleans, I don't think I've ever done straight up in a workout. It was good volume capacity. Again, I like these kind of workouts. I like to suffer a little bit. So going through the 60, 50, 40, and now the 30 repetitions here was all in my mental wheelhouse. I wish I would have moved a little quicker on the back 10, but right about here is where I started finding a groove, and it was just grip and rip. No chalk, there's no screwing around, making sure elbows are coming through, standing up all the way before we drop. Heil, thank you for checking the camera. That's an aware judge right there. That's pristine. So now we're getting into, I believe, the final 6 or 7 repetitions here. A little fatigue, so we're taking a second, regathering, and then we're walking right up to the bar confidently and ripping that sucker from the ground. Again, I was trying to use a lot of legs here, get the hip drive, and move those elbows through. I want to focus on my positioning and my catch so there's no wasted energy and everything is going in an upward fashion. I was really trying to also save the grip as much as possible. I was utilizing that hook grip as much as I could. I did not like how the barbell was kind of moving me a little bit out of position. So I definitely needed to work on, again, a little more technical, a little more drive with the legs. I think I was a little uneven with my foot positioning if I had a camera that could directly see a little bit better angle of what was going on there. So we're getting into the last few reps here. Everything's feeling really, really bad. I'll be honest, the shoulders had some serious fatigue. And I was way more fatigued for the rings than I thought I would be. Originally, I didn't want to chalk, I just wanted to go up to the rings. But unfortunately, with 5 minutes left in the workout, that was not the case. We had a lot of work to do and I needed that rest. So we are taking, I think this is a 15, 16, 17, almost 20 seconds of a break here. Opening set, I think, was 3 reps. Now, these look way better than they felt. They did not feel good at all. I felt like my biceps and mainly, surprisingly, my traps were really starting to lock up here. Again, trying to take as quick of breaks as possible, a little chalk. One thing to consider too is how you dismount. The rings swing. Those first couple sets, the rings don't move a whole lot, but as I was getting more fatigued and I was dropping down a little bit more aggressively. There was definitely some more ring swing. Again, trying to have good repetitions, full lockouts here. I'm not trying to push away from the rings. I think there was one rep in here towards the very, very end that was a little hairy and scary. And we will review that and decide what that looks like. But here, the rings are swinging a little bit more. It was not the best dismount. So thinking moving into the quarterfinals, if we see rings again, this is something I would like to work on. But full transparency, have not been working on my ring muscle ups. The reason being, since Metcon Rush in August, there was a little shoulder thing that we've been dealing with for about 2 years. So I had not honestly been able to do rings, as on the kip backwards, there is an extreme discomfort and pain in my lat and pec area. By what I've been doing for the past 2 years, this is the first workout, seriously, the first workout that I have done any capacity of rings. I've done bar muscle ups, but rings in this capacity of 20 straight, I've only done strict rings for the past year or two. I think I've maybe done kipping in a workout maybe once or twice, but for the most part, it's strict, just trying to develop that muscle memory, correcting exercises for my shoulder. As you can see here, I'm just completely burnt out and gassed from the 180 repetitions before we even get to the rings. 3 minutes left in the workout. I was not too pressed on time. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't gonna fail any reps. Again, I wanted to keep my shoulders intact and make sure that I wasn't gonna tear or injure myself in any capacity. So being really smart here, this is the open. I wanted to push my capacity and see what I'm capable of at the same time too, trying to be as smart and technical as possible. So again, pretty happy with how these look. I have not done 20 ring muscle ups in a very long time. I need to work on my kip. It was not as beautiful and fluent as it should be. There was a little restriction coming out of the hole. But again, working on shoulder capacity, working on triceps, something I'm very happy with because I didn't explode as bad as I thought I was going to. One thing too, with not doing a whole lot of rings, under fatigue, it is a completely different movement than just rifling them off fresh. So prep for the quarterfinals, guess what we're gonna be doing a lot of? About once a week is a ring or bar muscle up combo. Probably a little bit of both, honestly. More from a technical aspect, building a little volume under a little minor fatigue, maybe a workout here or there, where we're under severe fatigue because that breathing pattern and how you feel, I just missed a rep right there. Didn't freak out, still got a minute and a half, about 90 seconds. I think there was 5 repetitions at this point. That was just a bad kip. One of the things or issues is my grip was so blown that I couldn't get my hand over top of the ring, and my grip was kind of slipping away on me, and I was kind of fingertipping it. So just something to think about. I need to work on my grip, improve there. Thank you, Nick. Just out of the way. No issues there. I think there's another rep. So I can't remember if that was the second rep I failed or third. Nick, what are you doing, homie? You're in the way. But again, he got out of the way. He's good. I think at this point, there were still like 2 reps. I tried to go broke for 5 straight there. I knew that wasn't necessarily possible or the smartest movement, but I think here we have 1. Oh, Nicholas. So now we're back to the row. You're gonna see on the WeTime monitor, get to reset, we're back to 0. And I believe I accumulate the 20th calorie with 1 second remaining. So we had 45 seconds. Pretty happy with how I felt. The form is not the greatest, I'll give you that. But we were moving well, pretty much just full blackout mode. I look at the clock with about 30 seconds left, and I knew that right there, it is time to just close our eyes, right there, close our eyes, and we are just going to pull. I counted, I think, to like 6 or 7, opened my eyes and still realized there was about 10 seconds left, or 15 seconds here, because I was looking at the monitor, looking there, and I was like, all right, we can get 20. So we were just ripping through. I'm surprised that I got up to 1,800 calories per hour, because typically a year ago, the power output would not be there. And there's the 20th calorie, right at 14. So good to go, very happy. It was painful. This is the only time I felt like my legs were actually giving up on me. Immediately though, I try not to like be dramatic and lay on the floor too much. I want to get up and move. And Andy, thank you. I appreciate you, Mr. Cameraman, yourself. You also did very well in the workout. I thought your ring muscle ups looked pretty solid. And here's the guys just breaking it down for me. I appreciate y'all because I was in full just like blackout mode. But yeah, 20 kgs or 45-pound bar, 45-pound plates, 135 total. rower. And yeah, they go through the whole thing. I grabbed the tape, and at that point, I'm like, Kyle, I need your help. I do not feel well. Got some recovery, got some fueling, taking time to recover and rest. And now we're about to hit a clean and jerk session after I feel pretty okay. It's been about an hour since I've worked out, so we're gonna re-warm up, get everything nice and well oiled there. And that is 23.1. So as always, thank you guys for watching this episode. Peace, much love.